Hari Om. Today let us proceed to a new topic, that is Kirchhoff's rules or laws. So generally there are two rules of Kirchhoff's. Extremely easy but very important. The first one is simply called as the first law, Kirchhoff's first law and Kirchhoff's second law. It has some other name which is also called as junction rule. This is also called as loop rule. Let us first see what is junction rule. So suppose we have a junction or we have a point in a circuit or in a closed circuit or in an open circuit which has various branches like this. Now these are all wire connections in which suppose there are some currents in all the circuits. Let us make it in this way. Suppose here in this branch the current is I1, in this branch the current is I2, here the current is I3, here the current is I4, here the current is I5. So what does first law say? The junction rule says that at a point or at a junction, the amount of current entering should be equal to the amount of current leaving the point, or the sum of all the currents entering the point should be equal to all the currents leaving the point. That is, at this point, what are the currents entering the point? They are I1, I2 and I3. So I1 plus I2 plus I3 should be equal to the amount of current leaving the points, equals to I4 plus I5. This is just as simple as it is. This is first rule. That is, the amount of current entering a point should be equal to the amount of current leaving a point. Now the second rule, this is loop rule. What does it say? Loop means it is only applicable to closed circuits. So suppose we have a circuit something like this. This is a resistor, another resistor, a potential difference source. This is R1, R2, and there is some current I in this direction. So you can see this is a closed circuit or a closed loop. So here second law can be applied. But this law, the first law, can be applied for both closed and open circuits. Now, how to apply? What does this law says? This law says that the total potential drop or the total potential difference or the total potential drop in the complete loop, in the total loop, is zero. Let us see how to devise this. There are many ways to do this, but you should follow any one of them, because if you follow more than one ways, you might get confused. So follow any one way and stick to it for the lifetime. So what I do generally is, here in the second law, you have to note the potential drop for all the circuit elements. For example, in this loop, there are three circuit elements, that is two resistors and one battery or a cell or a potential difference source. So you have to note the potential difference across the ends of all these elements. Now I follow a process in which you start from any one point. Suppose I start from this point and try to remember the process, how we go. The current's direction in these branches is clockwise, so something like this. For this, we will start to move clockwise. You can move either clockwise or you can move anti-clockwise. You have to move in a loop. So you have to start from here and come back to here. So let us move clockwise. While moving clockwise, we first encounter with R1 resistor. And here, the direction of our movement is equal to the direction of current flowing through that resistor. So we will take the potential drop or potential difference to be positive. Now what will be the potential drop? As you know, V is equal to IR. So the potential drop here will be current into resistance. So IR1. Then we continue moving and we strike at the negative potential of the battery. So since we have striken at negative part, so write minus of the battery's value. Here no need to multiply with current because this is already a potential. We have to note all the potentials here. After that we continue moving in a loop. The third encounter is resistance. And once again the direction of our movement and the direction of current is same. So once again plus current into resistance I into R2. After that we reached our initial point, so is equal to 0. That implies we can say IR1 plus IR2 is equal to V, or I is equal to V by R1 plus R2. Generally this is the way, or this is the rule that we use to calculate the current in different branches of a circuit. So this is the equation that you will get if you follow Kirchhoff's second law. Alright? So with this, let us stop here today. We will proceed to the next part in the next video. Thank you.